just a few moments. A couple quick housekeeping items. I'm going to kick things off, and then we're going to go to you, the fans, to ask the questions of your favorite stars and celebrities. So, if you would like to ask a question, we have a microphone in the aisle right there, and the aisle right over there. You can start lining up now. Just be mindful of your neighbors around you. We want to get to as many questions as possible. In order to do that, here's the deal. Tell us your name and ask your one question. And make it a question that has a question mark at the end, an upward inflection. No requests for autographs or selfies or video recorded messages. All of that can be done at the talents table. This is all about asking questions. And we've got a big group here, so try to keep your questions to those types of things that all of the actors can answer. We good? New Orleans, everybody in? All right, everybody. We have Sarah, John Connor, Kyle Reese, Vukovic, Detective Vukovic, and the T-1000 waiting to come out on stage in front of you. Are you ready to bring them out here? Let's do it first. It's T-1000. Please welcome Mr. Robert Patrick. Let's give it up for Kyle Reese. Please welcome Michael B. Next up, that's all right, Kyle. It's all right. It's just a light. Next up on the stage, he is John Connor. Please welcome Edward Furlong. All right, keep the applause going for Detective Vukovic. Please welcome Lance Henriksen. And let's not waste time in welcoming out our final cast member. She inspired so many women all over the world as one of the greatest female action heroes of all time. She played Sarah Connor. Please welcome Linda Hamilton! We did it, everybody. We got the whole cast together. Welcome. How about it, everybody? This October will be the 40th anniversary of the original Terminator film. 7 years later, obviously in '91, we had Terminator 2. I'd love to kick things off. There's a lot of fans in line, and this is all about going to the fans and having them ask their questions of you. But I'd just like to go around our cast right now. Just talk about the legacy. It is widely regarded as one of the greatest sci-fi films, franchises of all time. James Cameron, obviously a brilliant director. You portrayed all these characters that have stuck with us and made us the nerds that we are, and we come here to see you. What is it like, the fans coming up to you now and just telling you how much this film had an impact on you? Yeah, grab the mic there.
Steal my money. No, I've had nothing but pleasure out of it. Because everything kind of interconnects.
Yeah.
You know, the aliens, all of it.
We have a little mini Aliens reunion on stage here as well, everybody. Let's give it up for Aliens franchise.
Yeah!
Linda, first time with all the gang back together in a while. How's it felt being here?
Well, I love these people that are around me. And you guys out there. Obviously, it's not, I don't think any of us started out saying this was going to be a huge, deal for years to come. You just do your one job, one movie, and then it just has a life of its own that comes with it. Fantastic. I actually get treated like I saved the world, and so it's worked out really well for me.
And we love you for it. Let's give it up for everybody. Come on. Michael, I want to go to you first, being a cast member from the original film, and then we'll get to Edward and Robert. Again, talk about the legacy, being part of one of the greatest sci-fi films of all time, and having the fans still come up to you. What are some of the experiences like you experience with fans?
Does this work? Everybody got this?
Yeah. Good.
You know, nobody knew,
Yeah.
you know, for a long time. Terminator, when it came out, it was appreciated by a lot of people, but box office-wise, out of the top 25 movies of the year, it came in 23rd.
Yeah.
Things like Ghostbusters, I mean, it was a hit, but it wasn't. So, for me, it was the beginning of a relationship with Mr. Cameron, and that really turned into something special for me because I got to do Aliens with him and The Abyss with him.
Yes.
And then I can remember doing a little rehearsal with this beautiful woman who I love for T2. And, you know, even though I didn't make the final cut on that, it was just a very good experience. You know, I don't know what else to say. I'm now like Robert, who I'm sitting next to, who you all know. I look at and think that like he had to replace probably one of the best antagonists in movie history.
Yeah.
And I've never, ever heard anybody say anything like, you know, it's too bad they didn't have like, you know, like, dude, to hit those shoes,
Yep.
what you did in T2 to fill the shoes that Arnold was just mind-blowing.
I love it.
So,
I love it.
congratulations.
You feared the T-1000 even more than you feared Arnold in the original Terminator. That was so brilliant about your performance. Robert, I'd love to turn to you and then we'll get to Edward. Again, it's 7 years later. The first film, like you said, wasn't the most popular of the year, but it's built a cult success. It becomes a cult classic over the next 7 years. And then we have the amazing success of T2 that comes up next. Talk a little bit about your experience with that, Robert, and then seeing the big fans come back.
Michael's such a sweet guy, and you know, I looked up to Michael and Lance and Linda, and I was a fan of Aliens, and I moved to Hollywood in 1984. I'd seen Terminator, it was such a great film, and somewhere in 1990, I guess, I got an invite to audition for James Cameron. Had no idea I was going to be working with these guys.
Wow.
But I was such a fan of all their work. And, you know, I can still remember meeting Linda for the first time, and Michael, and then working with Eddie. It's just like it was yesterday. You know?
Yeah.
There's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of great, wonderfully talented people that made the T-1000 come to life.
Yeah.
And I'm just so grateful that I was the face of that character.
Yeah, I love it. And we appreciate it well. You mentioned, the special effects were super important for that character.
Oh yeah, you got Stan Winston, you got Steve Spaz Williams, Industrial Light and Magic, Mark DePay, Dennis Muren, James Cameron, obviously. Just really great people.
That's awesome. Edward, tell us about it. We heard a little bit about meeting Linda for the first time. What was it like being a child actor on the set of this massive production?
You know, I was like Rob in so many ways. I came in and I was already a fan. I mean, I knew the movie was going to be huge. I mean, by then, I mean, it was a much different experience.
For sure.
And, oh my God, I remember meeting Linda for the first time. I was very nervous. Linda was very beautiful, as she is today, you know, and you know, I remember it was just, it was crazy. I actually, it was an audition or something like that. Right? It was like an audition. And, yeah, I think I kind of almost got written off the list because I think I was like nervous. I had never done like the actual, I mean, this was my first job, so.
Yeah.
But, you know what? Like, even though I knew it was going to be big, I had no idea. I had no idea that I would still be doing this. I'm 46 years old and I'm still, you know, here with these guys, which is always great, and, you know, talking about it. And it's awesome. It's awesome to be a part of something like that. you know?
Yeah, I love it.
It is.
I want to get to the fans, we have a bunch in line, but Lance, I have to bring this up just because Edward just mentioned his audition story. You told me backstage that you originally went in and they were looking at you for the part of the Terminator before you got detected. Is that true?
That doesn't matter. No, really, Jim sent me over to Hemdale and said, I want you to give him the feeling of what the Terminator will be like.
Yeah.
So I had to put shit all over the place. Yeah, but thank you for that. But anyway, I walk into Hemdale and the secretary gives me, like when you first walk in as a secretary.
Right.
And she almost pulled the typewriter in her lap. And I felt that's good. That's a good moment. You know? And then Hemdale comes walking out. And I'm staring at him like I'm going to eat him alive. And then after 5 minutes, I was so bored, I had to get the hell out of there. And Hemdale, Jim said, Hemdale asked Jim, who do they want for the Terminator? And Jim stupidly said, him, this guy, Lance, that just left. And the truth of it was, I just was trying to give him I wanted to scare him.
Yeah.
Then I find out later that Hemdale was a boxer.
Oh.
I might have got my ass kicked.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. So all the little elements that Jim would set up would start to pick what was necessity and what was, what was going to work.
Right.
And I didn't give a shit if I got the role or not. I really didn't. I just was doing an on.
Yeah. Well, it worked out. I think we got everybody perfectly cast in the part.
I went home.
Yeah. You came back. We got you back. Let's get to the fans because we have limited time, so we know there's some questions out there. Again, reminder, one question per person. Tell us your name and your question. Let's start over here.
Hi, my name is Michael. First off, I just wanted to say everything that all of you have been in has been fantastic. You guys are really great actors. But anyway, my question is for all of you. What was your favorite part about being in successful movies?
What's the best part of being in a successful movie? Or maybe even going off of what we talked about, it took a little while for Terminator to become a success. When did that dawn on you? But yeah, why does it feel nice to be in a successful movie?
Yeah, do you anticipate anybody in this audience what is going to make them a success?
Yeah.
You can wander around talking about it to yourself, but who knows? Jim is a selector. He's one of those guys. He knows what's going to make it work. I don't want to lose this element, that element, whatever. I mean, he's an artist in that way.
Yeah.
Those movies are obvious that he was right about the things he picked and chose. You know what I mean? So, anyway, that's my piece of knowledge.
That's great. Thank you.
For me, the first Terminator, as Michael said, was really a slow burn. So it was not an overnight success. It was a very, it took years before people were like, I love you in this movie and I want to cast you in my movie. It really took some time. But then after the second one, which I knew would be rather large, I think the moment was best defined for me when the guy that pumped gas at my gas station in Pacific Palisades had seen the movie and he'd known me for years and he was like, how did they do that? Did they pump air into your muscles? And that was how I knew that it was working.
Yeah.
Whatever I did was working.
No, if he had
Pump
picked
air?
me, it would have been like homeless or dangerous.
It would have been a different type of Terminator.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, I mean, so he picked the right guy. He picked everybody right.
Yeah. Michael, how about you? When did you realize it was the success that it was?
The great thing about being involved with a really successful movie is that it gives you the opportunity to work with other very successful people. And because I worked with Jim Cameron, I got to work with Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Because I worked, and because those movies were successful, I got to work with Billy Friedkin. And because those movies were successful, I got to work with Michael Bay. And kind of on and on and on. So, being in a successful movie just helps you realize your dream of working with the best people that are in the industry. And it's exciting, just really, really exciting stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
All right, let's pop over here. Tell us your name and your question.
Good afternoon, my name is Stephen. Welcome to New Orleans, everybody. If this is your first time, make sure you get your king cake today. My question is for the whole crew. Each one of you has had your part in Terminator series. Because it deals with time and timelines, and now we know the existence of a multiverse, and I know Linda was in the last film. What do you think, as a crew on the stage, what would be the next evolution of possibly the next Terminator film? And thank you.
I'm out.
You've served your due. You've done your due.
I've done my time.
So for everyone else, if the franchise continued, not necessarily would you be in it, Edward, why don't you could take it, being the youngest cast member that has continued, to grow. What would you say to sort of the continuation of the franchise? Do we feel like it's done? Do you feel like there's more stories to tell, in your opinion?
Sure, I'll do it. I mean, I'm not doing anything right now. So yeah, of course.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Robert, T-1000 coming back. They've de-aged and characters here and there all over the place. And they're saying, with the time travel element in there, where do we think this franchise would go? Where would you want to take it?
I have no idea. How the fuck would I know? Leave me alone.
I think we're getting a resounding, let it go. Thank you.
This is Robert's first panel. And his last.
Why are you asking me questions? My last one with Linda. She'll never do it with me again.
Yeah. Love it all. Hey, tell us your first name and your question.
Hi, my name is Shirley, and this isn't really a completely serious question, but with AI taking over everywhere, Linda Hamilton, can I come with you because I want to live?
Yes.
Linda, really quick, I mentioned in the beginning, but you became such an icon for the strong female hero. One of the first films that really focused, on that character. Do you get a lot of women coming up to you, just thanking you and just telling you how they changed their lives?
I do. I've been sort of given that title.
Yeah.
Never ever thought while I was doing it that there was so much focus on the body and how, which was only 10% of, the work that I did.
Sure.
Was just getting the body ready to be a soldier. But
Me too.
it's kind of it's a nice title to have been assigned that. And, you don't have any control over it. I do think that it was a question of timing.
Sure.
The world was ready to see a woman kick some ass. But I think also one little moment where Jim, it wasn't little, but really in the scope of things, it was little, in that Jim wanted me to cut my hair off in the psychiatric hospital
Yep.
before I go out to do battle. And I was like, I mean, I don't think it was even a vanity. It was more like, why don't we just throw it back in a ponytail? You know, a soldier can't have long hair because it can be used against you, right?
Yeah.
And so we just slung it back in a ponytail, and I really think that made the difference. Like if I had been super butch, you know, if I looked like a man and was playing that part, I don't think I would have gotten nearly as much attention. It was sort of the fact that she was a feminized but kick-ass woman. So that was just a lucky accident.
Yeah, I love that. What a cool anecdote to hear. Thank you.
Does anybody have anything for Robert? I'm really eager to talk in case, you know.
We welcome your Robert Patrick questions. Hopefully you have one. Yes.
My name's Paul. I just have a quick and easy question. Have y'all ever met someone whose name is Sarah Connor?
Have you ever met a Sarah Connor before?
Oh, yeah?
Have you ever met a Sarah Connor, like a real life person whose name is Sarah Connor, and has come up and said, hello?
My mother.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
My mother.
No, I have a lot of people that tell me their name Kyle.
Yeah.
That they were named after Kyle.
After the character.
That happens to me quite often.
Yes, yes.
But,
I'm sure that's
and
happened.
I've never had the full Kyle Reese thing go down.
Yeah, I guess the joke being in the first film, that's what the Terminator is going after, with all the Sarah Connors in the phone book. So anyone out, and then she realizes it's her name as well. You must have had the same thing, people naming their daughters Sarah after,
Lily, or, you know, Sarah Catherine after the two most famous roles I played.
Yeah.
You know, it's just weird.
I love it. Thank you. Hey, let's pop over here.
Hey, my name is Willie. I just want to say, first and foremost, Miss Linda, thank you so much for you and like Simone, we were both being like those feminine BA women that was going to be taking no prisoners about anything. It's just a symbol to all the women that are in this movie. It was in the dream sequence. The Terminator 2 was so horrifying, but it was so amazing.
So the plane sequence?
No, it's the dream sequence.
Oh, the train sequence, sorry.
What were your feelings, your thoughts as you went back, not just as you acted it, but as you went back and actually looked at it? Like, what were your thoughts about that whole sequence? Yeah, you.
The training was really hard.
Yes, ma'am.
And I had a 1-year-old baby.
Oh.
And so my trainer would have had me like swimming in the ocean with a 50-pound pack if I hadn't wanted to live. And I'm like, dude, I'm an actress. You don't need to put 50 pounds on me and have me swim in the ocean. And not that we did a lot of negotiating. It was, you know, I pretty much did as told. And I literally would like do recon and strip weapons while he threw shit at me while I was blindfolded. And then I would say, Uzi, excuse me, I have to go to the bathroom. And I would go into the bathroom and I would go. Just absolutely sob it out for a minute. And I would just like get back out there. And I never let him see me cry. It worked. It worked for me, like at the end. But it was hard going.
Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Yeah. I'll open that up for everybody. Robert, maybe you can talk about specifically, there's a great documentary, Jurassic Park, about Steve Spaz-Williams and the work that he did, and specifically him and James on the scene where T-1000 comes through the fire for the first time, is the molten liquid metal, and then turns into you, and it just is so seamless, and it still holds up today. Robert, what was it like performing that, and then to follow up on that gentleman's question, seeing it on the screen for the first time with all of the effects finished?
It was difficult to shoot because no one had ever really done that before. It was the first motion capture.
Yep.
I didn't realize that at the time, and I thought, you know, my own insecurity. I thought it was me that was fucking it up. It was difficult, and Dennis Muren was there, and there was a lot of pressure, and Jim was there. He was trying to be patient. I was trying to do what was required, and at one point I think he walked me off to the side and said, "Hey man, we're making film history here. No one's ever done this before, so just be cool, just relax. It's not just you, you know, it's that kind of thing." And it was a challenge. And then when you see it, it is seamless. It's amazing. And I think that's one of the great things about that film is the practical stunts that were real, blended with the CGI, and that makes that film still relevant today, and it still resonates with audiences, because it's based more in reality than half the shit that's out there.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
So people see it and they go, wow, it's a really great film. And we're all pretty proud that we're now in the National Historic Film, whatever.
Yeah.
What is that, London? The National Library? What is it?
It's the National Film Registry at the Library of Congress.
Okay, well that was national, whatever. So we're in that. But I mean, yeah, it was cool. It was a great experience and a lot of hard work.
Michael, you did a ton of stunts as well, and you're in the opening sequence where we see the future and the skull getting crushed for the first time, and you're darting around. And again, what was it like seeing that final product on screen with the lasers added and the dark skies?
Are you talking about seeing the Terminator?
Yeah, like the opening, yeah, not even seeing the Terminator, but seeing the landscape of the future with the skulls getting crushed. Yeah, what was it like seeing those special effects for the first time?
Well, I can remember telling Jim about the future sequences, or actually the opening sequence with the treads crushing the skulls.
Yes.
I was like, Jim, there's too many skulls. I don't know, why would there be so many skulls right next to each other like that? It's like, shut up, Michael. Just it'll all work out in the end. I'm like, okay, Jim, sure you're right.
That's funny.
None of us knew what we had.
Sure.
None of us had any idea what we had. And I can remember it being screened for audiences who saw the opening sequence of that movie and laughed.
Yeah.
Laughed as if it was it was funny, a joke. There is humor in the Terminator, but I was at some of the original screenings where people, they didn't take Jim seriously, they didn't take Arnold seriously, and they were laughing at what they thought was the silliness of what they were watching.
Yeah. They
had no idea that 40 years later, we'd be talking about it. So, it's, as Linda said, it takes a while for some movies to resonate.
Yeah.
Tombstone is kind of the same.
Yeah.
For sure, wow.
It takes a while for people to realize really how good it is and how good Jim was.
Wow. Amazing. Thank you for that. Okay, tell us your name and your question.
Hi, my name is Sharon. My question is for Linda, but everyone else can sound off on it too. One of the things I really appreciated in T2 was your narration, your voiceover that you did throughout the movie. And I wanted to know if you've done any other voiceover since that. And anyone else has, tell us about it.
Yes, I have. Not for, not in any sort of merchandising way, like commercials, or I've done a few documentaries, and I just did a part that was very heavy in narration. So interesting to try to break free of the Sarah Connor voice, because she's not in every movie that I do, right? And to hear a whole different character come out throughout an entire movie felt really odd, because it wasn't the Sarah Connor voice that we're all used to hearing. But I would like to actually coach voice to help people find their real voice when they're acting. I mean, there are just so many voices that I hear that I'm like, I would like to work with you. And get your voice in a real place where you don't sound like a little girl. You know, like you're going into this world and you don't want to sound like a little girl when you're a woman. You know what I'm saying? So I do pay a lot of attention and hear voices. I hear voices. That surprises you guys, I know. But I love voice work.
Does everybody realize where Linda Hamilton is going to be working for the next year?
Here?
Does everybody out there know that?
Here?
You got the spoiler? Yeah, tell us.
Is it okay for me to say that?
You're allowed to say it now.
Yeah. Stranger.
What? Just a small little series. Everybody, Linda Hamilton, she's a fucking stranger
He
thinking.
couldn't get a chance to see her because she's going to be busy for quite a while.
Nice.
Yeah, that actually feels good.
You thought you had fans now. Adding Stranger Things to the list? Oh man, yeah.
I love to tell them that I just doubled their audience.
Yeah.
I love to tell the Duffer Brothers that. It's like, you know, I just doubled your audience.
Yeah, nice. That's awesome.
Like being cast.
Edward, I want to ask you about your relationship with Linda on set. Being a young actor coming on for the first time, how was it? How was that experience? Just working with this cast.
Oh man, it was a long shoot, right? So it was like 9 months, something like that. And yeah, Linda, you know, honestly, it was my first experience. And as a kid, it's like you do this, you're together every single day, and you know, it's just a big part of your life. So I felt like, yeah, they were family, you know, and oh my God, it's like I kind of went through like a whole like separation, depression kind of thing afterwards. I was like, oh my, you know, because it's hard to finish a movie. But you know, you guys were talking about special effects and stuff like that. Yeah, I gotta say, the first time I saw the movie, it was crazy because, I mean, for me as a kid, I had never made a movie before, and just having the experience, making one is actually a lot more boring than a lot of and, you know, I had no idea. I remember seeing it, you know, the screening for the first time, and I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing all the effects, seeing everybody's performance, you know, like, and it just went by like that. I was like, wow.
It's awesome. That's so cool that you got to experience it at the age that many of us kind of experienced it also when you were in it. So you mentioned family. We feel like we're part of your family as fans of the sci-fi genre and this great film. We are all out of time, everybody, but you can go check all 5 of these amazing individuals at their tables all weekend long. Please give it up